up, future cruisers? I'm still coming off the glow and the high from that amazing cruise with MSC Meraviglia. We were on there from January 26th to today, February 4th, and we're now driving home back to Canada, back to Montreal, and I wanted to give you some insider info about this cruise. So, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about the things that I loved. I'm going to talk about some of the things that you may not know about. So, what MSC does well is the staff. The staff is amazing. They're always friendly, always eager to help. Never had an issue with the staff. And coming to that, do not forget to tip your room steward. He is a wealth of information, and he was the one that told us when we lost our cable channels that MSC was offering the videos for free because normally there's a charge. Now, we like to tip him a little bit every day instead of at the end of the cruise, and you know, maybe he was given that information as a result of his appreciation for our appreciation. So be good to your room steward and he will be good to you. Another thing is that the ship is beautiful. If it's your first time on the MSC Meraviglia, it is the largest one that's in the Brooklyn cruise port, and it's just a beautiful ship. They have a beautiful promenade. They have a huge dome, kind of like what they do have in Old Vegas. It's an overhead kind of dome show, and they'll have a show periodically throughout the day. So normally we would catch the dome show after the first seating of whatever Broadway show was showing. So right after we would get out of the Broadway theater, 5 minutes later it would start, and that was like just a great surprise, kind of like the cherry on top of the theater show that we just got to see. So always check that out. Check for those. They're brief, they're about 5 minutes long, but they're definitely worth waiting for. We had, surprise, as we got out of the Broadway theater on day 2, and there was the meet and greet with the officers, they were offering free drinks. So I believe they had pink ladies, they had Manhattans, and our preference, because we don't really like sweet drinks, is they had champagne for us, and that was completely free, a total surprise. And let me tell you, we were quite enthusiastic and happy about accepting that. Embarkation and disembarkation was so smooth. Don't listen to the haters out there. It was one of the best that we've ever done. It was super smooth, very well organized. It's like a well-oiled machine, and we were in and out in no time. One thing we really appreciate about MSC, and we believe it's the same thing on all ships, is that you could book something not for both people in the room, but just for one. So if only one of you needs to work and needs to book Wi-Fi, then only one of you has to pay for it. So it's pretty cool. And it's the same thing for alcoholic drinks. It's the same thing for specialty non-alcoholic drinks. So you don't have to pay per person, per room. You could just pay for one person per day. The gym is fantastic, and luckily we did not have a full ship. We had about 2,500 passengers, so there was never a lineup for the treadmills, which was just great, because although we do love the running track outside, it was cold most of our trip. So even when we were down in Florida, the days didn't get much warmer than about 19 or 20 degrees Celsius, so it was a little chilly to be running up there first thing in the morning. If you've never tried this tea, it's going to change your life. They had a wonderful selection of teas. Myself, I don't drink coffee. I don't have anything caffeinated. So I really appreciated that they had this orange cinnamon tea. It's the first time I've ever tried it, and let me tell you, I was addicted to it. I was drinking only that. It was so good, especially since, you know, the juices are super sweet. So the tea, and you know, that would be the one that they would always run out at one station, but don't worry, because there are 2 other stations. So if they run out, no, actually there's 3 other stations, so there's 4 stations total, tea stations. So if they run out at one, just check all the way at the back of the buffet. No, there's no hot water there. Nobody really uses that tea station. There's always the orange cinnamon back there. And speaking of the back of the buffet, do not miss the balcony seating that's at the back of the buffet. So there's little balcony windows. You just walk walk through and you can enjoy on a nice warm day. You can just enjoy your breakfast out there or your lunch or your dinner, and you have a beautiful view of the sea. It was spectacular. And because the ceiling is low, unlike on the pool deck, there's not a lot of wind up there. Keep in mind that if you like straws, and I really like this initiative, they are straw-free and it is a plastic-free ship as much as possible. They do have plastic spoons for the ice cream, but other than that, they've tried to go as plastic-free as possible, which I appreciate. Some people really, really, really love their straws. So if you do, just bring your reusable straws, and you heard it here first. It is my recommendation that you bring slippers because, I don't know, a lot of people walk on those carpets in their shoes, and I didn't really like walking bare feet. But yeah, I recommend bringing slippers. You know, maybe if you like having a bathrobe, that would be handy too. And finally, we loved that there was a fridge instead of just a cooler, because we've been on cruise ships in the past that just had a cooler, not a true fridge. So this is a fridge. Your minibar is going to be stocked full. So if you don't want to have the temptation, if you don't want to spend the money on the minibar items, ask your steward to remove everything that's in the fridge and he will gladly do so. And finally, there is a chocolate buffet, and let me tell you, it's going to blow your mind. So normally they have small sample size desserts in the buffet, which, let me tell you, the whole week they were spectacular. I was never disappointed. But on day 8, well, for us, because it was a 9-day cruise for us, we had the chocolate buffet, and they had just full cakes, full-size pieces, and so much choice. It was amazing. They had these little chocolate balls with liqueur in it. They had red velvet cake, which was our favorite. They had the slinky chocolate cheesecake, which was absolutely delicious. They had chocolate mousse. They had any kind of chocolate cake you could think of, they had it. They even had a chocolate tiramisu, which unfortunately I didn't have a chance to try because I was so full and I had only seen it later. But these are my tips and tricks for you on this ship. And once again, just go out there, get your steps in, explore the ship. You're not going to regret it. You're going to find cute little nooks and crannies everywhere on the ship. And if you want to make the most of the jungle gym kind of, you know, zip tie thing that you climb, or if you want to take advantage of the water slides, do that on a port day, because on port days everybody's off the ship. And if it's a port that you've already been to before, for example Port Canaveral, then you can make the most of that and not have any competition or not have any lineups for that. So if you enjoyed these tips and tricks, or if you want to add to them, please leave a comment in the section below.